All right. Welcome to Screen Share. Shout out to everybody here. Let me just kind of get settled in, make sure that the stream is going towards YouTube. I see it there. Let me pop out the chat. Ask your questions, hang out. I've got my sleep for this one. I love you, man. God bless you, bro. All right. First thing I want to talk about is Bitcoin, all right, and just kind of see what's happening right now for BTC. This crazy trade I was in today, right, went up and down. And, you know, it's like, you think about it, you start with maybe a $300 trade. And when you're down $50, you feel weird. And you do $1,000 trade, you're down $100. Then a $10,000 trade. And then you get into $1 million trade where $5,000 has to act like $500. Like you have to start, the money has to feel like nothing. You know what I mean? You can't put so much weight on 10 grand. That's and that's how you can start making bigger money, but it takes time. You got to and you have to test this stuff by for me, it's incremental, then, you know, and, you know, would have loved to have made that trade yesterday than today, right? Struggled, but it's okay. The key to me is always progressing and taking a shot, right? If you don't take a shot, you're always going to lose. You know, you're going to lose you're going to lose anyway if you don't do anything. Not doing anything is losing, in my humble opinion. Like the definition of losing is doing nothing. So as long as I'm moving and keeping it and doing something, I know something good will come and something will come my way. You never know. We might even see a trade tonight. We'll see. Got Sammy on the big screen with the wifey. Thank you, man. That's really nice of you. And I got my spin drift. This just has nothing but carbonated water and lemon. And they even say they filter the water. So these are the cleanest drinks I could find from Massachusetts too. When you grow up in Massachusetts, we're pretty good about like keeping it clean. You know, that's the one thing about Mass. I don't love everything about it, but organic, clean, good farm stores, a lot of stuff from scratch. You know, Massachusetts has that home vibe. So let's take a look at the monthly chart for Bitcoin. It closes in 2 weeks, right? We're halfway through the month. If it closes green, it's going to be amazing, right? That's going to be our first step for another green candle on the monthly. Right here, you can see our next monthly resistance is 96,380, which we kind of went into. And then right there at 102,681. You can also see that we now have support, nice support at 89,000. And even right there at 90,500. So even right here now, where these wherever you see two candles stopped. So you got support at 93.5 and at about 90,000 on the bigger time frame. So now you have support. You know, the 80s are going to be a lot harder to get into again. They're not just going to, you know, they dipped into the 80s, 90, 80, 90, 80. They're not going to be as easy soon. Like, just, you know what I mean? That's what, once you bust through a resistance, you now have to break through support now, right? And then the old hidden bullish divergence on the monthly that I've been saying now for probably ever since this candle just began. So it's got to been like 40 to 50 days I've been talking about it. And then it says that you'll go higher than this. That's what it says. You're going to break higher, go through here before you break these lows. So, Sam, we can't see the screen. Thank you. I forget. I have to be honest, everyone. I get very tired on Thursday nights. It's like my most exhausting day. Today I was exhausted, like a long day. I was with Mario in a fall. That lasted an hour and a half, right? And my kids, hey, Sam, do this, right? Then I got to work. Then I worked out and then the trade too all day. And then the woman came, so this lady walks into my driveway like a few weeks back when I'm home alone. I'm actually cleaning the Lambo just a little bit. True story. Like I just had my garage door open. I'm just wiping it down after I came home or something. And she goes, hey, I heard you were a streamer, like from somebody. It's so interesting. I'd like to get to know more. And I was like, and at first I was caught off guard. And she goes, I'm Joe Rogan's cousin. I know Joe, me and Joe are good. Me and Joe are, I see Joe at family parties. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. She's like, yeah, and I'm in the TV industry. And I just, I'd like to know more about what you do. And we talked and we kind of hit it off. She was very interesting. She was older, like 58, I'd say. Great energy, though. Great energy. We want to see you. No. All right. So great energy. And so, yeah, and so then she kept saying, hey, we should link up. And then out of nowhere, she said, hey, I'd like to come watch the stream. And to me, that's really weird. Because like right now, like sometimes I have to clear my throat, right? And I can, you don't have to hear me make any weird noise. You know what I mean? I could cough. Sometimes I spit in a can because I can't breathe. You know what I mean? It's like, I know, I'm not trying to be gross. I'm just saying what happens, right? And it's just something. Then I'm like, damn, she's going to be in there. Sam, your car is so sick, man. Thank you, man. Oh, the Santa Fe? I know, man. My Honda Santa Fe. I love that thing, man. Thank you. No, seriously, the Honda Santa Fe is the bomb. I love that car. 45,000 and you'll get the best car in the game, man. And it has 3 seats. And I really like the light white interior. And honestly, it has a really nice LCD screen and a really nice steering wheel. I'm pretty sure you're not talking about the Honda Santa Fe, but I just want to be funny, man. I'm always trying to be funny, man. Always. Imagine she's on and hear you saying this. That's okay. She could be here and hear me saying that. That's fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. She's actually really cool. She would laugh. I'm only cool with people that are like all the way cool. You know what I mean? I don't hang out with people that aren't cool, man. Like you should be able to like let it all out or don't hang out with them. That's how I am. I mean, don't be rude, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, what if I end up on Joe Rogan, man? I have really good vibes with her. Things go well. In some way, somehow, one day I end up on Joe Rogan. Like, I believe in these things. I put them out to the universe. I dwell on them. I think, I used to see ATB. I said, well, I got to be on that show one day. No one knew me. A year went by, 1.5 years, and finally one day I got the email. Hi, we've been watching you. We'd like to have you on, around the blockchain. We love your TA. How is Tuesday next week sound? And I was like, amazing. I'll be there, So I focused on anything I've ever focused on. Somehow it's happened to me. I've sat there and believed that it has to happen, and it has. And I've said, like, it can't go any other way. It has to be this way. It's like the reality can only go the way in which I am, And it doesn't mean every time it's like life goes perfectly, but it's like sometimes I get disappointed, but it comes back around. And then I'm like, yeah, that was what I was thinking about, right? So that's big deal. So she came and she watched the whole show today. And she came at 10:30. I said, let me get started first. I can't just start with her in the room. And she came at 10:30. She watched till 12. And then we talked, and she said, I envision possibly helping you get onto Fox News. And, she didn't want to say too much. And she just, we discussed some things. And she's like, I wrote a lot down. I took a bunch of notes. I'm going to come back to you. So I don't know where this goes. But it's so interesting, right? And it shows that, like, and even if it goes nowhere, it's something to think about. It's exciting that I went my own way, and you never know what could happen, right? It's not a job interview. I'm not waiting on my boss. These are my opportunities that I've created by just following my heart. There was no path. There was no roadway. No one told me where to be or where to go. I followed my heart. I knew I wanted to teach. I knew I wanted to become a famous trader around the world. Like, these are my goals in life. I wanted to become a well-known trader around the world. I wanted to help as many people in trading and specifically out of depression. I don't want people to be depressed. I want people to go after their dreams. When you get out of the rut, you can finally expand and become who you desire to be. I know today I'm everything I want to be. I'm always working to add, but I'm everything. I worked out today. My bank account's good. My health is good. My relationship with my wife is the best it's ever been. We are just number one team together, The relationship with my kids is the best it's ever been. The relationship with my 2 sisters is the best it's ever been. The relationship with my friends that I know are the best they've ever been. I feel like the relationship with my trading group is the best it's ever been. Right here and now, as we speak today on 1/15/2026, I have not one thing that I can't be grateful for. I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so grateful for every opportunity. And I'm so happy to be here with each and every one of you tonight. Thank you so much for being here. And it's crazy, 71 people here, and we have over 1,000 people in the trading group. And there's not much going on a Thursday night, but we used to have hundreds of people here. When the bull market rips and it gets crazy, there'll be 500 people in here, so. But whoever is here, I always focus on the people that are here, and thank you for being here. And I know it's late. Some people can't do it, and it's also different time frames, so. Yeah. Hope you verify. You're a weirdo, man. No. She wouldn't. The woman is not a liar. Yeah. You can. I looked up her last name and everything. Hey, Sam, Lifers, question for Sam. I usually work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. your time. What are some things I can do if I can't check during those hours? you could trade the daily or the 4-hour time frame tweezer bottoms. And I'll explain that's how I got through Singapore. So I'll talk about that. I'll talk about how when you can't get to the charts, what do you trade? How do you trade? When you know you're not going to have access to a chart, what do you do? I made some of my biggest money in those situations, so we're going to talk about that tonight. I very much appreciate these sessions. Thank you. What are the possibilities for a screen share to be 2 hours earlier? It's possible. Here's the deal. I trade all day usually, or I'm on the market. Like today was a very busy day for me, right? I didn't take my suit off until like 5:30. I put it on after my workout at 9:15, and I was in my suit and tie until like 5 o'clock. You know, I actually changed. I put on another suit and tie. I sweated through 2 shirts today. I sweated through 3 wife beaters, 2 button-down shirts, like sweated to you wouldn't believe. The stream today, I think it was just so, with her watching everything, it was a lot of nervous energy or something. I sweated my whole shirt out. My shirt was entirely covered in sweat. It was insane. And it's cold here in Florida. Like today's one of the coldest days we've had in the year. It's like we're not used to it. It's like windy and cold, and you know, we're just not used to it. 50 degrees here is like, oh my God, that's no good, you know. It's 48 degrees right now. I mean, in Florida, like that's crazy. Lamborghinis, iguanas are falling out of the trees, lizards and stuff, right? Because they get stiff, and so you have to be careful. Iguana can just, especially here in South Florida, you can get hit in the head by an iguana. It's crazy, man. Yeah, so if I could do it earlier, so I usually stop at like 5:36, and then my kids are like, Daddy, 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 we haven't seen you. The 4-year-old wants to throw a ball. Like she was actually, I didn't get to play with my 4-year-old today. I didn't get a chance to. And she begged me outside the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, banging on the door, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. I said, babe, I can't. I didn't get a chance to eat dinner. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just being, it's just how my wife made a dinner, and then she said it wasn't good. Something happened. It never happens, but it was just one of those nights. She was really disappointed. She said, I spent hours on this. She tried to make homemade barbecue sauce, but she put too much like vinegar in it, and it really spiked the meat. And I tried to eat it, and I told her, no worries, babe. It happens, man. Everyone makes mistakes. I said, sometimes I'm in a trade for days, and it doesn't play out. I said, I know how you feel, and, it is what it is, right? So anyway, but just, talking about the day. So if I made the screen share a little earlier, it would be tough. For me, it's like the perfect time. Everyone's like, they're going to go to bed in an hour. They even miss me right now. This is when they like hang out and they want me to be, it's from 6 to 8:30. My kids want every second of me, man. They demand it. They come at me. They love daddy. Daddy is like this fun object to the girls. And they just want daddy all the time, man. And I'm like in a good mood. I'm high spirited. I got young energy. The kids want to be around me all the time, man. Hey, I'm flattered, right? I'm lucky. My kids that's all they want to do is be around their dad. The 11-year-old wants their dad. The baby wants the dad. The 4-year-old wants the dad. So it's hard for me to get away from them, Doesn't matter what time. I always stream Sammy. God bless you, man. Thank you. Kids come first. Hey, Lifer, I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your streams have been a real lifeline for me while I've been battling life. Keep being you, man. You're the best. Thank you, man. God bless you, bro. This is how you become the 1%. No days off. 100%. Like, I end up in the top 1%. Everyone there's a lot of people that do hate on me, everyone. And it's like I was this perfect picture of who they wanted me to be. The humble young trader. And then I made it, and it's like, oh, he thinks he's better than everybody now. It's like, it's sad, right? But my real lifers love me, man. Rave Song Records hold me down. When I was new, the screen share Zoom was so important. We could all see each other. Still looking forward to Thursdays. Hey, man, I'm sorry about that. You want me to do the Zoom so you guys can see each other, right? Interesting. And, man, I'll go back to the Zoom. You know what it does? It does something to the audio. Every time I use Zoom the next day, it does something to my computer. I don't know what the heck happens. And I even restart the computer. It is an anomaly I can't figure out. So monthly looks beautiful, oversold, very oversold, high or low. And, a lot of the metrics that when we check off, like, CVD deltas and, which is cumulative volume delta, and just, on large time frames. Also the, how much it costs to mine a Bitcoin per the price of Bitcoin, all this stuff. We haven't hit these indicators that say we've hit the top of a bull market. You know what I mean? So that's just another thing to think about. So anyway, the monthly looks great. The 2-week chart looks really nice too. And these will close Sunday night. Okay. But they look really, really nice. The weekly chart looks absolutely amazing. Well above 91,008. All we need to do is stay above 91.8, really. If we do that, we're fine. We can hang around and we can bounce between 91.8 and 96,000. We can hang out here all we want and we'll be fine. And that tweezer bottom is what I'm looking for right there at 90,008. So we just got to hang above that. That tweezer bottom has to hold. This previous resistance becomes support, just like this did. This previous resistance became support right there. Beautiful. Let's go to the 5-day. Now the 5-day has hit the 21-day moving average. That can be a trouble, so there is still a chance, we can be open-minded here. I'm going to get rid of the hidden bullish there. We don't need that anymore. But we could be somewhat open-minded, and this could still possibly be a bear flag. What if you just dump all the way back down here to 89,000, 88K, and they sweep the lows, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but just be okay with that, right? I mean, I'd love another big green candle. Technically, we want to dump first because we want to wick. So you don't want to see us pump because, you want us to dump a little bit, wick, and then get out of here. But that's a little sketchy. To me, today, remember on the live stream, we kind of adjusted this, and I said, no, we're outside of the stream. We're outside. We have to say we're outside. So fine, we're outside. But, that could start to break down. So that's a little sketchy right there because the 21 is a place where we bounce on a bullish flag. And you would bounce up to the 200, right? So, it sketchy, but I've traded that bullishly before, so I can't deny it. So that's something we still have to be on the radar for. This could wick back in, and then you'd have to say that's still a bear flag, right? And the target could still be 65,000. We're not out the water just yet, right? We really need to break above this level here, which is 102. Really reclaim 100 grand. Now we look at the 3-day chart. 3-day chart closed bullish tonight. It just closed, right? It just closed pretty bullish. It's a bullish engulfer. I don't love this wick, but I like that you broke above resistance right here, above 93.8. You see? So there's strong support there on the 3-day. We'd like to see this kind of dip a little bit, and tomorrow, we want to see the 3-day starting to pump. We want to see the 21-day moving average on the 3-day cross the 200 moving average. We're going to be looking for that, okay? Zab, are you out there, Zabby? Zab, calling Zab. Are you out there, Zab Life? Let's take a look at the daily time frame. Okay. Now the daily, tight moving averages, we can pump up to the 200 moving average. I like to see that. The daily closed red today, though, a tweezer top. And usually that means you're headed back to the 21 again. I have to, every time we close a tweezer top, back to the daily 21. We got a 4-day pump. And now it looks like we're back to the daily 21. What I was saying today was, okay, daily resets. Can we stay above this previous resistance as support, touch the 21-day moving average? Right? But the daily doesn't look good. When you close a red candle next to a green one, usually the next candle is red. And when you're away from the 21, you're going to connect to it. So that, to me, doesn't look good. Okay? This is my first Discord just learning. Is Mexi available in the USA? It says my region does not allow it. Your 21 and 200 moving average rocks. I use it with my stock trading. Pure gold. Thank you. I love that you just said that. It works on everything. You can trade stocks, Forex. What I'm teaching you guys, you can trade any market in the world. I call myself the crypto lifer, but I should just be the trading lifer at this point. Because it lowers my reach, and my reach is just broad. You can trade anything with what I teach you. Anything you want. Forex, you name it. You can do it. This is my effort. Yeah, exactly. Monday is MLK Day and an extra day of low trading volume. Oh, that's interesting. So we have Martin Luther King Day coming on Monday. Yeah, that's definitely going to slow down the market. That's a great point you made. Yep. Someone says, I like the YouTube. Thank you for saying that. I do like seeing the faces on the Zoom. I do. It was cool. So 95.5 just seems to be this kind of standing point here 12-hour and the 22 both got rejected by the 200 moving average. We expected that. We expected that too. And then we moved to the 4-hour. The 4-hour has come back to the 21, but not amazingly well. But it'll be cool if it gets like a sideways bounce here. So I want to see the daily create a flag. I want to see the 4-hour make a flag. I want to see sideways. I want to see sideways price action above this resistance. I don't want to see 94.5 again. I don't want to see 94,000 again. I'd like to see Bitcoin continue this like chop and then break out of here Monday night. You know, it could go sideways all weekend until Monday night and drag this on. And then here we are with the 1-hour time frame. 1 hour kind of depicts how the night will go, right? And I mean, it doesn't look great. It's RSI is pretty low though. Not at the bottom, but it's pretty low. But it does look like it could go, you know, a bit lower. Right now we got like something like that brewing. I'd have to bring this out like that. So right now it's like a falling wedge. I'd like to see it break out. And then the 15-minute today bounced off what? It bounced, oh no, the 5. But the 15-minute, was it the 1 hour? Hold on. Okay. The 15-minute lost the 200. And honestly, it's kind of bear flagging, right? You get a lot of mixed signals. I wouldn't be trading small time frames tonight. Thursday night, low volume after like a kind of a shocky week. You know, that kind of looks like a bear flag that could send us lower. 93.6. So if you were bullish tonight, or you were trying to make a trade, you got to see the 15-minute get above, and then there could be a scalp. Back up to 97.9. Like, just, you know, nothing crazy. That's the one thing I'd be seeing. Or we kind of just do this, and we end up somewhere here, you know, and then we break out. So I could see a slow bleed down and then a breakout for Bitcoin. Or, you know, sideways price action, and we get back above the 200. Just the low volume. And then you are back below the 200 moving average now on the 1 hour here. You got above it. You hung out. You made the model. We made a flag. Like, that was somewhat bullish. We could have broken out there. We didn't. They stop hunted. Now we're back above it. It looks like we're in some chop. So, if anything, I see chop. What you really want to do is, if you break above this POC on the 1 minute, you get above 96,000, and then you see a flag, that would probably be a nice little long. Even then, you just don't get much, because I see us headed back to the top of the range. It's not that big move. So I see some chop headed our way, but it does look like we may start to hold this key level. I'd like to see this 15-minute bounce. I'd like to see the 1 hour bounce. Keep on your radar, there could be a bear flag. So those are your scenarios. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you for sure. I play probabilities and I look at all the different scenarios. But what I can do is show you all the scenarios that I see in my mind that you might not have seen. And that might make you more prepared for what could be happening in the market later on, right? So yeah. And again, it was an amazing week of trading. Again, we made massive gains. So there's no, like, you know, it was a really, really good week. Silver was doing damage too as well, and we'll take a look. I think silver could have a possible another move coming on the futures there. So silver looks interesting to me too as well. Yeah. So I'll show you my silver trade here that I have open on MEXC. And I gave it to the group already, right? I think everybody knows what the trade is. I think it's quite simple, but, you know, I'm just going to show it anyway. So I got into silver. What I did is, so I made that like $1,800. I was up 26. I took 1,800. And when they kind of came down that night, right around there, I just moved my stop to that wick, and they took me out, and they went sideways. So I said, hey, why don't I just take the 1,800, margin it, right? So if I lose it, who cares? Because I just made it. Not who cares, but you know what I mean? This is what I like to do. I like to make money, and then I like to risk that money. I don't want to risk my own money. I want to risk their money that I made off them, right? I want to keep pressing the exchange. I want to keep using their liquidity as much, you know what I mean? It's my money, right? I made it, but you get it? And so, and right now I'm down $100. That's fine. They're paying us to long right now. See? So the funding rate is paying me. The longs are getting paid. See, the funding fee because I'm $2. So otherwise, you know, realized P&L. I don't know why it's, yeah. So if someone paid me to open the trade, I'm guessing. So this is what I'm doing, you know? And then here's the trade. It's a triangle. It's above the 21. And I could see us pump to 115. Once we break 100, a bigger move probably will ensue. And it just keeps going. And I may lose. If I lose, you know, I might even just get stopped out. It might not look right. It might come down here, retest. I might get stopped out for $400. And I'll still be up. So that's my silver trade that's on right now. Okay. Nothing crazy there. Yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see, like, and look, this could end up being an inverted head and shoulder. See this? You end up making some wacky flag here and still breaking out. Man, I don't know. I wouldn't really be short in the market tonight. I'd just be kind of chilling. The daily, the only short I would say is maybe the daily back to the 21, but even the daily, look, flipping green in the middle of the night. All I want is the daily to make a sideways flag and then break out. I want the daily. This is what I truly desire. I truly desire, I'll show you another chart just so I can keep that stuff going. I truly desire this. Entry was good. That was perfect, man. Actually, let's bring that back because that's my signal. Just why don't we go over that? The 21 touch, and that was your entry, and that's when we got that nice breakout from 94,000 all the way back to 97.5. That actually trade is still in the green. It's kind of funny. Like, that trade's still in the money right now. Not by a lot, but it is still in the money. Pretty cool. All right. I'm just going to delete that now. Yeah, so we could be making like some type of inverted head and shoulder here. Or more a little flat, like something like this. We might make, you know, we could be making a more sideways flag like this. And I get it. It could be a head and shoulder, head, right shoulder. And we could keep, that could be a bear flag that dumps down to the 200 moving average. They could sweep the lows. I could see anything happening. That's why I kind of, you know, I'm showing you what I showed you already on BTC. Hello? It's weird. It's like they're vacuum cleaning, and when I talk, I can hear the vacuum cleaner. It's weird. Thank you, Sammy. Anytime, man. Thoughts on Russell 200K breakout, igniting alt season? Interesting. Can you discuss high level what consensus is regarding the Clarity Act? Well, this is what's happening with the Clarity Act. I'm going to break down what's going on, what I see, okay? The Clarity Act wants to make crypto clear. What do they want to make clear? Really, these are the laws they want to make clear. Like the banks. The banks can say who can hold money, right? The banks say who can hold money. And there's a lot, like, you know, you can't, you know, not anyone can just open a bank and take people's deposits. There's a license. You have to pass like some type of security. And so they, you know, and then you can park your money there. The banks can give you, you know, residuals, basically, you know, some type of interest. And yeah. And right now, crypto does whatever it wants, right? Like stable coins can be earned on exchanges. You can get APY. You can get 5% a day, 4%, right? 15% a year, stuff like that. The banks don't want to give you 15% a year. That's unheard of. Like, why would they do that? They'd be like financial, you know, they wouldn't, you know, why? They're already doing, you know, so they don't like this. And they know that only me and you kind of know about it, but not everyone else really knows about what's happening, right? So because of that, well, maybe is there a setting that like, just I can hear it. Like every time I talk, I can hear like something else. It's really annoying. Hold on, like audio processing. Processing. Check. That's almost better, but you hear a lot of background noise. Yeah. So it takes off the background noise. High pass filter. Check. Hello. It's not as bad, right? Then the noise gate. No, that does a good job. De-esser. Funny. Really does. Compressor. Oral exciter. Check. Yo. Yeah, you know, that's interesting. The oral exciter. Huh. I guess when there's not a lot of noise in the background, it's picking up whatever. Sorry if you hear it. It's a little annoying. So they don't want stable coins to be able to give the yields that, because then they would have to give the yield, and they don't want to. It's simple as that. So they're trying to shut down the Clarity Act because they don't want to give stable coins clarity, because they don't want to have to pay the high yield, and they don't want us to know it even exists. They're pissed that the cat's out the bag right now, and they're trying to keep it in the bag, but it looks like it may not happen. And then, Brian of Coinbase came out, Brian Armstrong, and he said, hey, this is what they're doing, man. They don't want us to give yield. They don't want Coinbase to be a bank. They don't want to give Coinbase the license. Like, they don't want to say, oh, it's okay. Right now everyone's doing it. Like, it's unregulated. We're getting our money no matter what. So you're speaking my love. You're funny. AOU expander compressor. You're like, what did he say? The banking mafia. Yeah, exactly. It's the banking mafia, man. We'd rather have nothing to do with them. They want everything to do with us. We don't need them anymore. Leave us alone. Like, take our money out. We can do crypto all day long. We don't need the bank. So crazy. But yeah, so that's kind of that to me. I know there's probably more to it. You could read through it. You can get into it. You can ask Grok and sit with Grok all night, and Grok will tell you what's going on too as well. 95.7, Bitcoin getting a little bit of a bounce here. And that's a higher low after this tweezer bottom on the 1 hour. And again, just longing here with a stop below this. This could play out back to the upside. It could almost be a twisted W. Plays to the, do you see that? A twisted W plays back to the upside. Yeah. So that's kind of what I see for BTC. And yeah, I wouldn't make a crazy trade tonight. Because my whole thing is this: if things go my way, we're going to consolidate on the 1 hour, and then we're going to be able to buy right around here, or we break out and we get a retest here or something like that. But waiting for this tonight, and to me, it's just not my cup of tea, right? So I wouldn't expand on that. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing tonight, just chilling. And look, there's some hidden bull here. That swings up, that swings down drastically. Like, that's hidden bullish divergence, man. That tells you you're going to break this high before that low, as crazy as it looks. And you're kind of negated the head and shoulder pattern that could have dumped further down today as we went sideways and we held 95,000. So I think we're all good on BTC. Everyone good on BTC? You understand kind of what I'm saying? Yeah. Fried shorts and roasted bears. Yeah. You're speaking mild. You're funny. Tether dominance is losing the weekly 200 moving average. That's a good sign too. Yeah. Okay. Earlier, no bueno, gracias. We have snow here. Oh, man. Wow. So that's Bitcoin in a bit of a nutshell. Okay. And remember, if you're still here and there's less people here, it means the market, when there's less people at my screen shares, it's time to buy. When everyone's at my screen share, it's time to sell. It's a really simple thing. If you come to my screen share and there's like 500 people here, it's probably time to take some profits. If you come to my screen share and there's 60, 70 people here, it's probably a good time to buy. And it's interesting, right? People do not pay attention at the best times. The masses flock into crypto, into markets, when they've been told about it for months and they finally get off their butt to get in. It's like everyone procrastinates. By the time they make it to the market, it's a little late. You got to be buying the market when no one's talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the key. These are these cool little like Thai herbal pouches that have like, eucalyptus and really strong sense of herbs. And when you smell them, it like cleans out your nose. Just say high pass filter again. You're so funny, man. What trading platform do you think is the best for trading like you do? Is there just one or multiple? I use a bunch of different ones because I like to have a backup. I like to have different trades. Sometimes liquidity could be, you never know. Something can happen. So, the internet, sometimes there's a connection. I love Weeks. They have really good customer service. WEEX, Weeks. All right. The WEEX exchange. I have links to all these in my pinned comment and underneath the description of all the videos. And I have Sammy links here. If you go here and you go to just Lifer links right there. Okay. So, all right. I wanted to talk about this for a second. Potential earnings based on your $4,089 per night. Right? What is that? Who pays $5,000 a night? What is that? Everyone, my dad was such a cool dude. All right. And when he was like 18 or 20, he was partying in Falmouth. Let me show you a map of Massachusetts. Give you guys a little insight here. All right. No, I think it's worth knowing about. This is interesting stuff. And I think it's worth talking about. Talking about over here. Funny, I've never used MapQuest in a long time, but whatever. So here's Massachusetts. I grew up in Boston. All the local kids would drive all the way down to Falmouth, this town right here, and see how it kind of points out. It has land, water on either side. There's tons of nice beaches here, and the weather's great in the summer. And so my dad would party. He would drive when he was by the time he was 18 or 19, he would drive the 1 hour and a half, and they'd party all weekend in the Cape, and then they all come back and stay in the city, and every weekend they'd party all summer long. And one day a guy got on a boat, and he took a boat to this place right here called Martha's Vineyard. And my dad was like, "Where are you going?" My dad was a bricklayer's son. He was, he started carpentry and became an iron worker, was on job sites, right? So he wasn't my dad, we weren't elitists. We didn't have family outings at the golf course. Like, I didn't come from that. Okay. I do that. And now I'm trying, I get my kids into that. And funny, I don't have a son yet. I got to get a son, man. Anyway, $3. I love my daughters. I don't want to put that, but that, Anyway, so my dad went across and he would take his bike to this place called Chilmark. There was a naked beach. And they were all hippies back then in the 70s. Him and my mom met somewhere in Boston, and then he would take her. They'd be naked on the beach all day. They told me a story all day. Naked on the beach all day, eating fruit off this tree. They drink water from a stream. There was a local spring water stream there. It still runs today, but they piped it, and there's a pipe on the side of the road, and just water's flowing out of it from the aquifer. It's always coming out. It freezes since I've been a kid, that water has flown. It's like, they always tell us there's scarcity, but man, I've always seen abundance when I'm in nature. So I think they lie to us about the earth. There's way more resources than you've ever known, and it's so much bigger than you realize. And you ever drive to Vermont, you see thousands and thousands of trees. They go on for days. It never ends. Anyway, so my dad went here as a kid, and then when I was a baby, I was born in April. Within 2 months, I was brought to this island, and I was a kid with my twins. I have a twin sister. I was on this beach, and an older sister. And I grew up on this island every summer with my dad. We had a very small, 1,800 square foot home, whatever. I mean, some people might be big, but, it was quaint. It was tight. I loved it. I had a tent, and I would sleep outside. We lived in, a rural part of the island. And the island has all these different beaches. These beaches are west facing, right? These beaches are east facing. These are south facing. This is where the big surf comes. South facing beaches have the most, north facing beaches. This is a bay. So these are small little waves. So these are this is a nice beach to take your kids because the waves will never get that big here. They're it's like pond. This is a big sound. The waves never get big here in the sound. The waves get big here on the south. You can go surfing here. There's Squibnocket. There's a bunch of surfing beaches. And the waves can get pretty big, 8 feet, 10 feet, sometimes even bigger. If there's a hurricane, the surfers like to surf pre, post, and sometimes even mid-hurricane if they're crazy enough, right? This is very upscale. Edgartown is the richest people I've ever seen. Every house is white in the town of Edgartown. No, I'm not lying. You type in Edgartown, every house is white. Fancy, there's all these fancy restaurants. It's a really nice, very low crime, a lot of richy riches. But when I was a kid, it was more down to earth. Now it's gotten very, very, exquisite. And you see Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. But you remember, so I have this dichotomy about me. I grew up with an iron-working father and a school teacher. But my dad always wanted me to have a better life than him. Why not? To sail, And my dad read about the elite. He always would read a book about, this guy, he had acres of land. Look what he did, All these, oil barons and steel barons and guys that made money in the whaling industry and came home with, tons of money from whaling and bought big homes and had farms. And he was always teaching me. And my dad envisioned me becoming way richer than him. And why not? I would envision my children doing the same, right? As long as they don't lose who they are. I never want money to change them. I wanted them to know, you're Irish, you come from bricklaying, down-to-earth people, And so, yeah, and then, so basically I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of, and so I eventually decided when I was young that I had to own a piece of this island. When I was 15, But it was so rich, man. And one tiny little house is $1 million there. Like literally a tiny home, a shack is $1 million there. And, you know, it was my dream to always live here in the summer because I knew Florida was going to, my dream was to move to Florida, but then I knew Florida got real hot in the back of my head. I didn't realize how hot because I didn't live here. I lived one summer here 2 summers ago. It was tough. And I always dreamed of owning a home here. It was my dream, you know. And I always dreamed of living in Sarasota. You know, my dad brought me to Sarasota when I was a kid. He brought me to Fort Myers to see his buddy. And then my good friend was living not too far, and my dad brought me over to stay with him for the night. And I hung out, and it was just such a cool time, man. And he lived in Laurel Oak, a gated community that just is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'm telling you, like, you drive through, and there's, like, these giant trees, and you're just, like, you just feel like you're in the most secure, richest gated community in the world, like. And I remember going in there when I was 21 years old to meet him. And like here, you know, Laurel Oak is just gorgeous. It really is. Show you just a little snippet of it. And I'm not trying to like, I just want to show you guys like, these are my dreams that.
Your morning begins not with
look at Laurel Oak, man.
But a breath. Golden sunlight spills across dew-kissed fairways as you tee off, choosing between 2 championship golf courses.
They get 2 championship courses.
On the patio with
they have a beautiful golf club.
Panoramic views and a cocktail in hand. Afternoons invite friendly pickleball, a game of tennis, or soaking up the Florida sun poolside.
I know that lady.
As the sun sets, the mood shifts. Fine dining, warm firelight, and laughter filling the air at one of our many member social events. This isn't a resort.
Every Wednesday night they have a social event based on a type of food, and it's a buffet. And so what you could do is you can join it socially for like, you know, I won't say exactly how much, but it's like under 10 grand. And then you pay $400 a month. And again, that's, you know, as another added thing to your, I'm just telling, I didn't know about this stuff. No one ever told me about these things. I grew up middle class. No one told me this stuff, guys. Nobody. My dad didn't even know about it. I didn't know rich people were paying to be in these fancy clubs and stuff. I didn't know. I never had a rich friend, you know, but I went there once to visit my friend. He didn't really explain this all to me, right? But man, it's a beautiful place, right? The whole point is, again, my dad brought me here, not to this country club, but to Sarasota. The first time I ever got to Sarasota was through my dad in a way, and I fell in love with it. And I just knew in my heart. So I had this set in my mind, that I would live in Sarasota, right? And then I would live in Martha's Vineyard in the summer. But like I had this vision. I was 25 years old. And I started being like, well, dang, a house in Florida is going to be at 1 or 2 mil. And a house on the vineyard is going to be at least $2 million. Like I can't get in there for less than 2 mil. Impossible. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely impossible. And this was an impossible dream for me for a long time. My 20s, and then I was 31, then I was 32, then I was 33. My 2 friends sold their company, made millions, and I saw a lot of people make it. And I still sat, you know, and it was my own fault. I'll be honest. I sat with my own thoughts. I didn't work hard. Like I was stuck in my own thoughts a lot. I knew I could do great things with my life, but I got stuck in my thoughts, and I had a hard time basically getting out of my own way. And I struggled for a long, long time. I just want to make that real clear for everyone. Like I struggled for a long, long time. So I am here now. I have the house in Florida. I did buy this house in Martha's Vineyard. I don't do it to tell you to brag to you. I did it because these are my dreams and my goals, and I've had them for 20 years. And like only in the last 2 years was really able to accomplish them. And when Bitcoin finally skyrocketed, when a bunch of coins went their way, when I became well known as an educator around the world, you know, when ATP put me out there, when my whole life changed, and so many things and so many opportunities came my way. All right. So now, like, I used to make 80 grand a year, 90 grand a year. These people are going to pay, and I'm going to make $38,000 in 1 week, okay? In 1 week. And yeah, the house has to get paid. There's bills and all that, but this house now pays for itself. So look, I literally can charge $5,000 a night in Martha's Vineyard. I have a 5-bedroom home with a pool. and 5, or almost 6 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. And so 2 families can easily stay there happily. And they reach out to us, we have it up on Airbnb and they say, hey, and I just can't, so what happened was you can raise, I'm teaching you how to do Airbnb a little bit too, which is an added step. I'm sure people would charge you for this. And I know you're here for trading and you're like, but I want trading right now. But market's kind of tight today. And I kind of went over Bitcoin as much as I could for you. And I told you what I would do. And it's kind of now up to you. I've given you as much information as I can. So, and again, this does feel a little bit like, am I bragging? No, I can't believe it. So we were charging $2,700 a night last year because we didn't know. And out of nowhere, we have a friend that has Airbnb, and she basically co-hosted with us because she already had good stars and good reviews. You need good reviews. She co-hosts with us. It's awesome. And we end up getting good reviews this summer. Like, what you have to get, or you just can't do business on, you have to get 5-star reviews. You really do. And so we got all reviews from everyone. It put us on the map. Now we have an Airbnb with the 5-star reviews, and I couldn't believe it. And that's an accomplishment of itself. You have to get into Airbnb. You got to get the reviews. You got to get people to, take your house even when you don't have reviews yet. And that's, I don't like to rent Airbnbs that don't have reviews because why would I take a shot? I only rent the ones with reviews. So I already know that it was low. So anyway, they wrote to us. They were like, we're a 2 corporate families with college kids. We'd like to stay in your house, They said yes, but for basically 8 days or something. And after taxes and fees, man, I could make about $38,000 in 1 week, baby. 1 week. I'm not talking a month. That's in 1 week. And yes, I forked over millions of dollars for the house, right? I took a mortgage out too on the house, and I pay it off as I go. But I've been paying off very aggressively as well. Whenever I have cash, it's right to the mortgage. I don't play games, and I got the mortgage to a really good spot. So I just wanted to kind of let you know, I am accomplishing my dreams, man, and I'm going after, and it's because I'm waking up every day. You can say whatever you want about YouTube, trading, this and that. It's really, that's all just, I could have done anything with my life. I could have done construction. I could have done, anything. I know it. I could have been a doctor. I could have started, a startup, a Web3 startup. I could have done anything with my life. And I know if I worked out every morning, I stayed true to God, I stayed with my wife and kids, I spent time with my family, I would have made it. I was going to make it. I was going to become a multimillionaire no matter what. It didn't matter what industry I was in. As long as I put myself in position with discipline and determination. And I'll tell you what, man, I say this a lot on the live streams. I don't feel like live streaming every single day. I don't wake up every day. Oh yeah, Today I started a $1 million trade, and then I had to show up when it was down $12,000 in front of thousands of people. That sucks, man. You want to do that? No, nobody wants to do that. But you know what? You know how many people probably gain respect for me out of that? And it actually does the opposite of what I think it does. If I'm negative about there's a positive out of everything in life. You got to find the positive every single time. Okay? You've got to find the positive every single time. And I didn't think I would share this stuff with you guys. Sometimes I get nervous. People get really jealous. They'll hate on me. They'll want to, they'll think I'm a horrible person. They'll think, and I just want to show you guys that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And don't let anybody tell you not different. Anyone that doesn't believe in you, get rid of them. Anyone that talks negatively to you, get rid of them. Don't let someone put you down. And you don't have to yell at them. You don't have to punch them in the face. Just walk away, man. And say, you know what? This is top-notch info, bro. All of us can't even imagine or visualize examples like this. Me neither, man. No one showed me this. The elite hide everything from me. My whole life, I was around all these rich people on this island, and they wouldn't tell me how they got rich. They wouldn't tell me, we don't talk about our money. But I was like, I need to know. How did you get rich, man? I want to know about your money. Tell me about your money. A lot of my friends say, you talk too much about, you share too much. I said, because no one ever shared it. And when I get there, I'm going to share it, man. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing. I'm going to talk, I started an S corporation. Start yourself an S corp. That's going to be the best way to keep yourself, that's it. Get the right accountants. These are all very important things. I got the right accountant in 2015. All right. I started incorporating then when I was a media company. My company now turned 10 years old, in 2000. We ran 10 years, man, my corporation that I started. It's 10 years old. I know people that are struggling right now. They're saying, I can't afford this, I don't have enough money, or I have to go to an apartment and it's going to be more, rent, and I got taxes and life is hard and I can't save. I was there. I hear people say that and I'm like, but I was there and I got out of it. So you can too. Like everyone, you could have the lowest paying job, but if you read The Richest Man in Babylon and you save 10% of what you make. So let's go over again. How did I get rich? How did I get here? How did I get from where I was to where I am today? Because 99% of the world was where I was, but only 1% of those people make, or you could say 100% of people is where I was, but only 1% of those people make it out to where I got to. Or maybe I'm in the top 3 or 4. I don't know exactly where I'm at. But why? What separates me from literally billions of people? Why did I end up somewhere that everybody would love to be? What did I do? How did I get there? I used to be in the bottom. I was in the bottom. I actually was in the bottom like 20. I used to owe money. I had credit debt. I didn't even have savings. I was like net, you know what I mean? I was negative. I was net negative. And not that long ago, I was net negative. So what did I do? What did I do? Well, the first thing I did was realize I had to get a job, and I sucked it up and I went to work. And I got a 9 to 5 after college. And I went in every day with my little shirt on, and I was customer service. 3 days out of the week, I actually had to take like fruit out of fruit plates and like put it into bowls, and like I had to take people's like burgers and put it on a nice plate, because they would order food, but they didn't want to eat it in like the containers. So I'd put on like nice gloves, and I'd put the burger on a plate. I'd put the ketchup inside of like a little container for them. It's like crazy. And then I'd walk in the room, here's your food. Come back when they're done, take it away, wash the plates, put them in the dishes. And I wasn't even working for a restaurant. I was working for a media company, but like we used to just service food. And they were like, oh, you want to work for the media company? You're going to have to like give food for a couple days a week until we like, and then we'll give you like 2 days a week as the real job. And then eventually, like when you get good, like you can pass that down to the next guy, and everyone's like, didn't you become rich from Bitcoin? No. And you'd say, well, wait. Yes and no. Bitcoin was there waiting, but Bitcoin was there waiting for everybody. Anyone could have got rich off Bitcoin. So what was I doing before Bitcoin? Let's just go over I'm going to show you the path to wealth. This is the path to wealth. Okay? That's how I did it. So the first thing I did is I got a job. My dad was like, your grandfather worked, I worked, you got to work. You got to get a job. You can't loaf. My dad said, you can't be a loafer. Can't wait for things to happen. You got to go make it happen. You got to get something going, Sam. So the first thing I did was I got a job out of college. Took me a little bit to assimilate, but I got a job and I worked from 9 to 5. Right? And they ended up laying me off in the 2008 crisis. And that was 18 years ago. I got laid off from my job 18 years ago. It's so crazy when I think about it. I was 25 years old, 24 years old. My first job ever, 18 months out of college. I had a job for about 18 months, 2 years, and they laid me off. I eventually I was unemployed for about 9 months, and I started a media company. I met Stefan Marbury. I met Twister. I met Jadakiss. I started meeting all these people in the music industry. A good friend of mine helped someone become pretty well known in the music industry, and he had connections, and he used those. And I was good at camera work and editing, and he used my skills, and we kind of put them together, and we started getting places. We started meeting more and more people. We started doing day in the lives. I did the day in the life of Twister, edited the whole thing, I wonder if it's still online somewhere. So, and then my dad kept saying, you got to save money. You got to learn how to save money, and I saved money. I would put money away when I could. And next thing you know, when I had a little extra money, I'd use it. I'd use it for something, you know, hey, marijuana stocks look like they could go, right? And I started putting money in there. So it started with getting a paycheck and living below my means. Number one thing I did was I read books and they said, you got to live below your means. You got to be able to save money. You can't be buying a watch because you want someone to see it. When your first $3,000, you don't go buy a $1,000 watch. When you get $3,000, you make sure you save at least 300 of it. I got obsessed, everyone. Once you start saving more, you start saving more. It becomes like this thing. And my dad used to call me like, you love it, right? Every dollar goes in, you feel, you know, a little more, a little more. You keep adding to the stash, you know. He's like, it feels good, doesn't it? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you start rocking and rolling. I had a dad that was a good saver. He was pretty good with money. When he got money, he wasn't, you know, he didn't become a multi-millionaire. He wasn't like the greatest guy. But when he did make money, he didn't lose it. My dad kept it and he put it into other things and he learned how to multiply it. And he was a happy, you know, he had what he needed. He could have had way more, but he didn't have, you know, he was never in lack, really. My dad had whatever he really, truly desired. He wanted a motorcycle, he had one. He wanted a little TR6, he had it, right? He went without. He was stubborn with himself. I think I pamper myself more than my dad did, right? But that's the generations, I think, that we're in, you know. So, you know, I had someone behind me that kept telling me, you got to save money all the time. Like whenever I did something stupid, I hear my dad's like, man, you're not going to get ahead doing that, man. That's not going to work. So I was like, didn't you get rich with Bitcoin? Yeah, but what if I didn't save money? I wouldn't have had any money to buy Bitcoin. I obsessively bought Bitcoin. I went days without food sometimes. Like I literally bought the big bag of flour at Costco's and I taught myself how to make pizza, man. With a bag of flour, $50 bag of flour, all I needed was some cheese and some sauce, and I could get those like at the lowest I could get them. And I'll tell you right now, I was making pizza. And then like a couple nights I'd get like some hamburger meat, but it wasn't every night, you know? I'll tell you what, there was months where I ate pizza almost every night for like weeks at a time because I only had to buy a big bag of flour from Costco's. I could make it myself. I didn't need I could eat without any money, and I could drink lemon water. So I drink lemon water. And I eat pizza, man. Now I go to the store and buy Mountain Valley spring water, whatever I want, right? I mean, I put it all in there. I don't even know what the heck's in there, man. But it wasn't always like that. It took a long, long time. It's a constant battle every day to stay focused and stay on point. And the second you let someone get in your head or you start doing the wrong thing, and drugs and alcohol also destroy people, man. You know, for me, I just say no. And I just say no, and I keep moving. And life is stressful. Sometimes, you know, I wonder, like, could I just have a beer to relieve this stress? And I'm like, but what will that do? What will that do? It will create a false sense of serenity for me that's not real. And then I'll have to search for that every time. And then I won't be strong. I won't know how to get myself back in action. This looks like it's going to dump back down to at least 94.9 right here. I have to be honest. It's looking a little more and more bearish today right now. Like that looks like a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, right? That's a bear flag, man. I don't know how that doesn't dump down here to 94.8. Looks like it's going to go lower. So I don't know for sure, but look, it's kind of looks like shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it wants to come down. Yeah, so and again, yes, then I did find BTC. Well, actually, it's not true. I started buying gold and silver with the money I saved. I said, well, fiat currency is going to get printed to zero, so I got to get out of that. So I bought tons of gold and silver, right? And I went from there. And then once I had a lot of that, I was like, well, what do I do now? And I started trading gold because I didn't know anything else. I knew gold. I looked at the price of it every day, and I knew it really well. So I could trade it. I was comfortable with it. And I wasn't great at trading, but it was at least something I understood, and then I took that, and I got more comfortable with trading. And then I started doing a lot of swing trades. You know, I did trade some pharmaceuticals. I traded some storm companies. I traded different things, all sorts of different stuff. But I eventually found, you know, mining companies and marijuana stocks. And then I found Canopy Grow Corp. I put some money in there, and it turned into a lot more money. And then at that point, I found Bitcoin, and I started buying it around, I knew about it 350, really figured it out more at 600 and around $800 was like when I first started chipping into it. And I can still remember buying my first little bits of Bitcoin, and then I bought a whole one, and then another one, and another one, and now, heck, I bought a whole one at 84,000. If you had told me, you know, 7-8 years ago that I'd be buying a whole Bitcoin at 85K, I never would have believed you. Oh my God, I would have told you, no way, me? And it's funny, comparison is the what they say, the can kill happiness. Like last night I went for a walk. A guy had a boat outside his house in my neighborhood. The boat was looked like it was almost 30 feet. It had 400 engines on it. It had like $100,000 truck, Ford truck, big boy truck. And I'm sitting there like, the boat's $1 million. Like the engines are like 80 grand a pop. It's like 320 grand right there. I said, man, this guy's got $2 million just sitting outside, and his house looked like it was $2 million. So he's got $4 million just sitting there. I was like, damn, man, this guy made me feel poor. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's the, comparison is the thief of happiness. That's what it is, right? So, we're all on our own journey. We're all where we're going to be. And remember, if you ever get a little angst or even, I don't know, slight little, damn, man, how did Sam get in that? I wish I was there. Remember, I wasn't always here. Remember that anybody can do it that puts their mind to it. And then if you just got to set a goal and keep moving. And I don't see how you won't win. That looks like it's going to dump. Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then a dump. That looks like it's getting ready for a dump down to 94,000. It just looks like it's getting ready for the dump. And it's the 21 below the 200, right? If you look at that, is the signal technically. You're touching the 21 above the 200 moving average. But I am getting mixed signals, so. And Bitcoin reclaims 97 as long-term holders, yeah. It says Bitcoin rally accompanied by very bullish whale retail behavior. On-chain analytics from Sentiment has revealed how Bitcoin is currently in a bullish zone based on the behavior of a whale and retail investors. Bitcoin and major retail entities have shown opposite trajectories recently. And the new Expo Sentiment has talked about how Bitcoin investors behave currently compares between the top and low ends. Sharks and whales make up for the former category, while retail investors represent the latter. Formerly, the wallet ranges of the two sides of the market are defined 10 to 10,000 and less than 0.1. Below is the chart by Sentiment. It shows the trend in Bitcoin supply held by each of the cohorts over the last few months. Now, visible in the graph, the Bitcoin sharks and whales have seen their combined supply rise, right? Indicating that the large investors have been accumulating. Meanwhile, retail investors have sold instead. This could imply that the big money hands are backing the latest price rally. It's good to know because big money doesn't just sell out of nowhere. They accumulate, right? Again, look at me. I'm buying more Bitcoin because I'm in a debt, and again, you put yourself in a better place. When you have more money, you can take more risk. When you have more money coming in, you can take more risk. When you have multiple streams of income, look, I just made 30 grand on that Airbnb. Again, that will come in August when they pay and all that. But that's already set up for me. If I took that money and then traded it and turned it into 120K, or if I lost it, whatever. Well, you know what I mean? Oh, I lost 1 week of rent. You know what I mean? 40K. Half of what I used to make a year, I make in a week. Okay, and I'm not bragging to you. And I never knew this was going to happen when I started that Airbnb. I never knew we could get that much money a night. And I never knew anyone would hit that. Who the heck would pay $4,800 a night? That's insane. But it's two families. They're splitting it. So it's $2,000 a night for them. And they're rich corporate guys. And they're taking their kids to one of the richest islands in the world, Martha's Vineyard. So, hey, it's time to pay up, buddy. So what I did is my dad put me in position years ago when he went to this, and he explained all this to this island. He had me set up. My dad had been setting, that's why a father is so amazing. I have such an edge, and I'm not trying to be rude to people that didn't have a dad. I can kind of hopefully supplement some of that, and that's why you're here if you didn't have a dad. But man, my dad was amazing to me in so many ways. I still am benefiting from the things my father showed and taught me to this day. Okay, so that's so trading's about taking profits and then putting those profits somewhere else that are going to be sustainable. A rental property, you got to have an idea for where you're going to put the money outside of the market. Otherwise, your money will just stay in the market. You'll just be like, well, I have money. I became a millionaire twice and lost it. I'd say one time it was 850, one time it was like 960. But come on, I was 100 grand and 40 grand away from $1 million twice in my life. And I didn't sell the portfolio. I was like, oh, it'll probably be $2 million next month. This is innovative. And then everything crashed. And I saw 900 grand turn to 80,000. Oh man, the feeling. And it was slow. Cause first it's like big dump and then it's 750. And then you're like, well, I still got something. Then it's 500. And you're like, well, I got 5. And then you think I have to go through all my portfolios and sell every coin. And you get it can feel daunting. You're like, I don't want to do that tonight. I'm tired. Seriously. You get lazy, man. You're like, I'm just going to hold. And then next thing you know, it's 489. Then a big dump comes when it's 320. And now you're like, dang, man, I just had 900 grand. I could have had $600,000. What am I doing? And next thing you know, 320, then 250, and then 175, and then, oh my God, I really held all the way back to $80,000? Oh my God, that's insane. I did it twice, everyone. Never again, man. I will take my profits for the rest of my life. I'll cover the trader, pay the trader. I won't stress, and because it's, I'm not gonna go there ever again. It still looks like it's gonna dump. I don't see how it doesn't, at least down to 94.8. But been there, done that. Who here is round trip like me? And the thing is, then I had to go back to work. And I'm sitting around all these no-coiners that I know nothing about Bitcoin. And I was the smart guy that knew better. And I didn't remove myself. I had to hang out with the no-coiners again. You know what I mean? It's and everyone that no one knew was to have $1 million. And I was I did, man. I was out. I was man, I'm meant for something bigger. And then I kept getting these opportunities in life that I knew other people weren't getting. I said, man, God's got a plan for me. Something he wants to show me. There's something that he's letting me into that he's not letting everybody else into for some reason, And I said, sometimes I used to question that, why me? And, one of my friends said, stop asking why and just be happy that you're on the ride, man. And say, well, you worked, and some people say, you don't say why me. Sam, you worked really hard for it. You haven't taken a day off since 2021 of February. And what you love and what, you've dedicated yourself to a craft. You push yourself every day and you haven't taken a day off. So we pay the trader. We do proper risk management. And through proper risk management, if you use proper risk management, you can't get liquidated or wrecked. You can lose 10 trades straight and you can get discouraged and you can be down and have to reevaluate. Yeah, but you're still not all the way out. So it's all about using what you got and taking risks with what you got and then expanding on what you had. Lost $50K first year. Couldn't tell my wife until I got it back. Well, at least you got it back. God bless you. Had one trade run from 60 to 700K and wrote it back to 100,000. Dang. Satoshi moved 10 Bitcoin and sent it to another wallet. Oh no. That's crazy. I wonder why that happened. I didn't move no Bitcoin. What are you talking about? So I type in Grok. I just took what you said. Satoshi moved 10. And I go, is this true? I ask Grok everything all the time, man. You got to be using Grok, bro. Is this true? And it'll run the whole internet and tell me if it's true or not. There's that dump, man. You can see it's a shoulder, head, right shoulder, coming lower. Looks like it wants to dump. And it just broke that trend line right there. Now let's just take a look at some altcoins. Altcoins will follow Bitcoin. If it kind of slumps and goes sideways, then they're going to slump and go sideways. Just sad to say, no matter how good they look or what happens, just what you're going to see. So we looked at this. Remember, I've been looking at Solana on the bigger picture, on the weekly. It looks pretty good on the weekly, right? It's got a higher low above the 200 moving average, and that's a giant W. And it's funny, I did this the other day, which I hadn't taken a close look at, but look, you got this trend line. You're making an ascending triangle here for Solana. On the really big time frames, too. And we did it logarithmically, so it was wrong the last time. Yeah, that shouldn't be on L. There we go. What to say, that's why it looks so strange. I knew something was off there, even today on the stream, right? But that's still viable. You bounce 228, back to 148, up and down. And it's, again, I keep getting this signal that we don't get an alt season until like August. You see? That's what the charts keep showing me, unless there's just like a straight up pump out of nowhere. And that says you go to $542 Solana by, it says it could take till June of 2027. It could take a long time, everyone. Yeah, I mean, we were on this run and now we're kind of, maybe it goes quicker. But still, the quickest I see it is maybe January of 2027. So we may have like a sideways market. And I don't know, that's another reason why I sold out of certain altcoins. And like, I'm still not buying into the fact that like, this is the greatest chance to buy alts, because I see them breaking out and then I see them coming all the way back down to pretty much only a little higher than they were after like 5 months. And that can be frustrating, right? If you got tons of money in an altcoin and it just keeps playing games. So to me, I don't know. It's just not, it's tough. Now, I still own $141,000 worth of Solana, right? And there's that silver trade. Look, I got $610,000 right here on spot MEXC. I've been holding a lot of this money for a long time. You can see 200 grand is Bitcoin. I've been accumulating Bitcoin. That's 200 grand that I'm never going to stress about for the rest of my life. It's going to turn into something more in 10 years, right? That's just like real estate. That's like owning 200 grand in real estate. I got 180 in Tether, because when the market starts to rip again, I want to be able to swing trade. You can also earn here on MEXC Earn, and that's earning, so you can sit that to earn. And then I got Solana, $142,000. I got MEXC token, $45,000, because the exchange does well, and that token hangs out. I like Zen because it's privacy, Aster because it's got utility, Tau because it's AI, FET because it was AI, Rio because it was real world asset, Jasmy because it's just a hot coin of its own. Wild was a gaming token that I really liked. I thought Yeezy, how could not Yee blow up or do something big? You know what I mean? It's Yee, bro. So I figured you had to have some Yee. Naka is a great gaming coin. It had a great team. Like when gaming was hot, these were the positional strength. Gala Order was Orderly, which was like the hottest DeFi in the game, and everything was blowing up. DJI 6930 was the coolest meme I ever seen, and it still has a following, and it still gets tweeted about. If anything comes back, I feel like it could. Then I had BMX because gaming was hot. This was like the hottest, most structured gaming company. It was amazing. I had WIF because why not? We nailed WIF. We made a lot of money on it, and then I put some of that money back in. Games for a Living was back in the day, if you remember. That was just, we actually 10x that thing in like 2023 to 24. Nosana was hot. I liked it. Dgen was with Base, right? And you knew if Base got hot, Dgen was going to get hot. Vine started talking about how they were going to create some type of video thing with Twitter or something, and there was like all this talk, and there was some boost. Doge, because you got to have some Doge, right? Aleph, because I liked Aleph back in the day. It was hot. Now, these narratives are kind of drifting. These is when I get, Pyth was supposed to be the Oracle. ENA, right? Athena. That was a little USDC. Maneki was a hot meme. Me was this like gaming coin, right? Palm AI, we nailed Palm AI. We did like a 4 or 5x on that. I put a little money back in. Pocket Network, I thought was going to be huge because Kyle Chassé was behind it, and he was on Twitter every day with hundreds of thousands of followers, but it never really took off. Floki was a meme I love. Myra was a meme I love. And they pump with Bonk and SHIB. Tara was AX, Tara X, and that was supposed to be hot. It was an AI coin. TokenFi was real world assets. A little XRP, some Zeta Chain. Alluvium was gaming. ATR, I made a bunch of money on this, and I just put a little money back in after I sold it. Made a good money on Peanut when it popped. I put a little money back in, and, like I made 2-3 grand, 5 grand, and then I put 2 grand. And now it's, it's sad. A lot of these did tank, man. Gear was Gearbox. I love that. Props was real world assets, and AVAX is AVAX is AVAX. Manta was really doing DeFi on the back end. They were moving quick, right? They had something to do with, I believe, was it the Atom ecosystem? But they were hot. Ethereum, right? Ethereum, XNA was Neural AI. Isn't that Neural AI? Yeah. And then Myria, Flux, that just must have ended in there because of what. And then the rest of it, there's really it's like they're $60, right? Like who cares? They turned to really nothing. Mavi was supposed to be kind of big, and a lot of it is just speculative at this point, right? So you could see I moved all out of the trash. It got into of the 600 grand, we're talking mainly Tether, mainly Bitcoin, mainly Solana and MEXC token. Like it's consolidated, and you can see it doesn't mean I don't believe in a meme season or an alt season. And I have another 100 grand of Chainlink at another location. I have another, again, it's like, I don't do this to brag. I'm just telling you, I do this to teach you guys, because if you watch me every week and I kept being like, yeah, I'm still in, but I never showed you the money, and you're like, well, where is he? Like, he sold it all for, and I did buy the Lambo, and I told you guys I was going to buy the Lambo like 2 weeks beforehand. I started thinking it. I said, man, I think I'm just going to buy a Lambo because I'm so sick of watching altcoins play games. Had I put that money into altcoins when I did, they'd still be kind of halfway. Some of them would still be, I'd just be sitting there. I was so sick for years watching money. I've had so much enjoyment, man, driving that car with my wife, having fun, ripping it. We go past the workers and it has this exhaust, pow, and I freaking nail it underneath the bridge, bah, and it's like people just like fly out of their seats. It's amazing. You know what I mean? I like it. It's fun, man. It's the coolest thing. I never thought I'd like it. I'm not a car guy. I wasn't a kid with a car. I never had cars. I never sat there. I had a motorcycle. I used to sit there and detail it. But I've never been a car guy. I thought car guys were kind of... I was a women guy, a woman. I was into women, man. And I guess guys that like cars like women, but I was, you know, me and my girl were always hanging out. She didn't care about cars that much. And I was never a car guy, guys. Maybe I'll become, you know, now I'm just a collector, man. Now, to me, cars are just collections. Like, if you make a mill, yeah, you could put 200 grand in. Every mill you could buy, maybe every time I make $1 million, or maybe say I do something, I could buy, you know, maybe I could buy something, you know. God has a plan for every one of us, and he has a plan for how much money is coming to you and where you're going in life, right? And just keep pushing every single day. That's all I can tell you is, like, I had no idea I was going to end up this far. I didn't even know 6 months ago I would have a Lamborghini. I didn't even know any of this. None of this was planned. Okay? Even a month before I bought the Lambo, I didn't even know I was going to buy it. Started seeing it. It just came out. It happened. It is what it is, right? And again, I hope you don't take this as bragging. I hope you take all of this as, man, this guy used to work a night shift. This guy's dad was an iron worker. This guy's mom was a school teacher. Like, this dude didn't come from money, man. I came from smart people that were disciplined with their money, and they taught me how to have the right mindset. And my dad was money orientated, and he was a smart dude. But, you know, and he gave me as much knowledge as he could. Like, God bless him. You know, he started me off right. One thing my dad would always say, you only have one set of teeth and one pair of eyes. Take care of them. Like, my dad was a simple man. He talked simple. You know, he tried to keep them pretty simple. I'm going to leave you with some other stuff tonight. You know, whenever I've struggled in life, in trading and in life, it's because I'm thinking about the past so much, or I'm scared about the future, and I'm not able to be in the present moment. Every time you're having a struggle, every time things aren't going your way, every time you feel that anxiety, like you're losing control because your thoughts are racing so fast and you just don't seem, go drink some lemon water. Go eat a banana. You know what I mean? Usually if you're feeling really out of it in life, it's because you're tired, hungry, tired or hungry, man. I know you don't believe me, but it's like, so if you're ever really freaked out, things don't seem right, eat something, maybe take a walk, come back, ask yourself, if you still feel freaked out, then, you know, now we have to assess why. You're thinking about the present. You're not in the present moment anymore. You're thinking about the future way too much, or you're thinking about the past way too much. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect you. I like Chainlink here. It looks good to me. It's got the higher low. I could see it head up to 16. That could be a buy right there for Chainlink with a stop below this wick at 12.79. Let's see. You could wait for, it's aggressive entry now. You could wait for it to kind of get choppy and get tight. It's an aggressive entry right now, though, for Chainlink, okay? But it looks good. It's a higher low on the daily, and it's trending right now. So Bitcoin seemed to negate that little head and shoulder and got a little bounce, you know, back up. I tell you, I'd leave it alone tonight. I'm going to shut off my computer at 10 to 9. I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to sit here all night staring at, I'm not doing that. I did that for years, everyone. I drained myself. I started getting gray hairs. I could tell that I was beating myself up from the lights, the screens. And, you know, I'm going to be 43. I'm going to start putting myself and my health, and, you know, I'm not going to stop working hard for each and whatever. I'm going to work more efficiently, even better than I ever have. And I'm going to find ways to give you guys even more information in less time, and instead of bombarding you with more, I'm going to hit you with less. Keep you more focused, keep the energy high, and keep it lean. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like Chainlink here on the daily. That's a possible win right there. Stops below the low there at stops below 13. I'll post that to the group. I still can't believe I bought a piece of property that I can make 40 grand a week off of. Like, like if I didn't hit the dang jackpot. Again, there's only 3 months out of the year I can do that, though. It's not all year round. It's only during June, July, and August. So it's not like, but dang, man. My wife is like if we could almost run that thing for between about 30 grand a week, and we could run it. We could make $340,000 off that Airbnb in one summer if we wanted to. You know, we could stay here in Florida and sweat and then rent that thing out. Heck, I could go to Aruba, man. And it probably cost me 20 grand for a month, or I don't know, maybe I could go to Aruba for, well, you know what I'm saying? I could go to somewhere else for a whole month and then rent that house out, make 120 grand, and then I could go on like a 40 grand vacation. I could still make 80,000 somewhere. And again, so when you see people doing things and you try to figure out what they're doing, know that there's so many combinations of wealth and way you can make money that you'll never really truly know what someone else is doing. I used to try to figure it all the time. Like, what are they doing? Like, how do they make their money? Like, there's so many new intricate ways. Like, if someone meets me, they'd never know I'm a trader, online YouTuber, and the way I convert, and move finances and money, it's so different, right? Yeah, and so I encourage you to get excited about buying real estate. It's good. I own one apartment that's I own another apartment still in Boston, and with a friend, a partner, a guy whose kids go to school with my kids, and we became friends. And he was in real estate, and we bought like a $900,000 apartment building with it has like 5 apartments. I did it. It brings in $7,600 in rent a month, right? Times 12, about $89,000 a year. I just actually did the taxes today. I got the P&L got sent to me. But man, I tell you what, that's tough too. Like snow removal, $9 grand for the roof. After the 89, we met, and then we have to split that, and then I pay him a management fee. So if 89 split at 44, 44.5, right? I give him another $4 grand because he gets a management fee. So he makes 48. And I make 40, which is fine. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I don't do anything. He goes there every day. He's the one that did the roof. I haven't looked at the place in years. It's been 2 years. I'm in Florida. He does it. So, hey, I give him a percent. And so I make 40 grand a year off that. So look, even between real estate now, that I'll rent that Airbnb probably for about the whole month of August because we're gone, So the whole month of August, I'm going to be able to get hopefully 4 weeks at, I don't know, somewhere between 30 grand, and then there's a couple other weeks around. So I should be able to make about 130. And with the 40, so I can make 170 a year on real estate right now. That ain't bad, man. I used to make 120 grand a year. That's passive income. I just have to kind of double check some things. We have to type in Airbnb. There's some work there. We have to hire cleaning crews. We have to stock things. My wife has to pay attention. We have to run the Airbnb website. But, for the most part, that's locked in. Okay? And I'm going to keep doing this until I'm making 500 grand a year, right? And again, man, I used to watch people blow up. I used to watch rappers blow up, and then I said, now he has a house, now he has this. Look, I saw Danny Duncan. Anyone know Danny Duncan? Anyone here know Danny Duncan? And why do I bring Danny Duncan up? These are online entrepreneurs, everyone. Amazing people that started YouTube channels. Vlogging is huge. There's more money in vlogging than what I'm doing. Seriously, I would start 4-hour flip green. That's so cool to see. I like hearing that. You just made my night, bro. Just made my night. Yeah, you're right. And it closed a green tweezer bottom there. Very interesting. So again, some say, hey, you're giving too much information to people. They'll get jealous and hate on you. But believe, man, I just want you to know, man, I was in a 1-bedroom apartment working a night shift. I watched everyone else do this stuff. I watched Derek Jeter and all these, Tom Brady he bought a house in Massachusetts. It was like $30 million home, right? Him and Giselle, and I see the levels of money that people have, and it never stops. Motivation, nothing wrong with that. Thank you. Looking to buy my first house with the next 2 years. And again, these are the people you want to be around. You want to be going on screen shares once a week with multimillionaires talking about what they're doing. You want to be around that. That's going to push you. You don't want to be around brokies talking about nothing. That's not good. You don't want to be at the bar. Someone could go to the bar tonight and listen to the same nonsense, or they could be with me right now on this screen share, man. Which do you think is going to propel them to be a better person, go after their dreams, and make it happen? Let's get real, right? All roads lead to real estate, doctors, lawyers, and salarymen. 100%, man. Sounds like your Boston apartment runs a 7% cap. That's pretty great return for the asset. It's okay. It's all right. I wish it could be better. But, no, I actually agree with you. There's people that buy, $1.4 million properties they couldn't bring in what I was getting, too. No, it is a pretty good cap. It's not a bad cap. You're right. It's 7%, negative 7%. It's a good cap. But thank you, man. Hey, and you sound like you know what you're doing a little bit there with the real estate. Lum hanging with the Sammies. You're funny, the Sammy. I built 3 bicycles for Dave Mira back in the day. Dave Mira's cool, man. Nice guy. Greg, I love you, bro. How's the baby, man? Everyone tell Greg you love him, man. Greg's the best, bro. Greg's been with me forever, man. I love the people that have found me at the very beginning and never gave up on me. Because I've been through a lot. You guys have seen my life change so much. My mom and dad dying. They never got to see the man I became. You're equivalent of the 5 people you surround yourself with. That's why I'm here 100%, man. And I want to tell you guys something. There was a time in my life where my 2 friends sold their company for $225 million. They were my 2 close friends. So I had 2 multimillionaires in my life by the time I was like 26, but I wasn't, But then I joined the trading group I was in, and then the guy that ran the trading group, I knew he was a multimillionaire. He was making $500K a month, that guy. And so I started interning with him and helping him and learning how the trading group, and I interned inside of a trading group for 4.5, 5 years, everyone. I've been in training groups for 10 years, trading groups. I've dedicated 10 years of my life to trading groups. Understand? I understand psychology, where people are coming from, all the different walks of life. I've had thousands of conversations. I've tutored people one-on-one from, short people, black people, white people, Spanish people, little Asian girls, big people, small people, big black dudes, people in prison, you know what I mean? White guys that have no teeth, like 3 different people that were in prisons and halfway houses. I've helped people all around the world, man. And when they come to me, they're like, man, Sam, I can't believe you, man. I'm so lucky to see you. And they're so nice to me when I do the one-on-ones. Like, people are so nice to me. No one else will ever tell you how they did it. You keep it real. That's why we are lifers. Yeah. The first week was rough. Pretty much no sleep. But she's amazing now. Such a blessing, man. I love you, bro. Yeah. God bless you, man. Yeah, the first couple of weeks. I had a really good wife who really took care of it for me. She knew I was live streaming all the time and working when my 2 babies came in, and she would just breastfeed the babies at night, and I wouldn't have to really stress about it. I just rewatched one of the videos yesterday. That man was a gem. He was ahead of his time, bro. His info was still top notch. Is it, you mean Jim Rohn again? Or I definitely have no one else. I joined my first trading group during COVID, Crypto Revolution with Chris. Yes, that was the trading group I was in, man. And Chris eventually did commit. I don't know. I heard he committed suicide, man. It really breaks my heart. The person that, imagine if I committed suicide. Wouldn't that devastate you guys? I was on screen shares with this guy for years. He taught me how to do screen share. He taught me how to do the weekly screen share. He's the one that showed me I had to show up to my community every week if I cared about people, man. What happened to Sam Wazine? Is he still doing his thing? Is he done? I think it's an I, though. Sam Wazine with an I, right? He's still doing his thing, bro. Pretty sure. Did you call and they didn't answer the phone? No, September 23rd, Sam and his staff. Yeah, he's still getting reviews, September 2023. I am clicking on the website and it's not coming out. I will tell you that. I don't know if it's my internet. Yeah, when I click on the website, it doesn't do any. Yeah. I don't know why. Interesting. Maybe I have a shield up and they have shields or something. Because Brave Browser can be funny sometimes. Yeah, that's not opening. I don't know. Don't ever do suicide. It's unfair to the ones that care about you. I know, right? They sit and wonder all the time. Don't even talk about it. It's so sad when someone feels 100%, man. Crypto Bitcoin Chris, everyone say God bless him, man. Jamal, were you in that group? Did we meet through the group? Did we meet through there? Did we meet through Crypto Chris? Is that how me and you met? Remember seeing you on BitBoy and thought, this guy's a winner. The rest was history. Loyal member ever since, man. Thank you, brother. I meet a lot of people. They say, I saw you on ATB and there was just something about you. It's like, I had to know who you were, man. You just were talking so confident about the way you could see Bitcoin. And yeah, I don't know why Chris did that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still piecing together the story. And maybe there's some shadiness there and someone's trying to tell us that's what happened. I think I'm eventually going to cover the truth, but I think it's going to take me 10 years. Yeah, we met. So we did. So I've known you a long time, Jamal. Oh my God, bro. You were in that group. Oh my God, man. Me and you have known each other for a long time. So everyone, when you see what I have, when you see what's happened to me, remember, it was a long time coming. I started buying those gold and silver coins, man. I started trading. I got into trading groups. I became an assistant apprentice to the leader of a trading group. I became his right-hand man. He knew me. He started asking me, why don't I have a channel? What am I going to do with my life? He started mentoring me. He helped me. He pushed me. Then you came to my house after finding you doing your own lives. Yeah. I came to your house. We've hung out. I've come to your house a couple times. Don't ever talk about it. I won't. No. I'm sorry. I will never do that, guys. I'm just thinking how devastated yesterday. That man was a gem. He was ahead of his time. His info was still top notch. Oh, yeah. Chris? Yeah. I think you're talking about Chris. Sorry. When I read that, I didn't realize who you were. Yeah. Nah, he was awesome. His energy was great. So there's a bunch of altcoins that look interesting. I don't know if tonight's, again, Thursday night is usually not the altcoin night. It's not the best night to trade. Bitcoin can go sideways. We're going to try to figure it out. You know, I have some scanning tools and I can look through a bunch of different alts in like a few hours and I can get kind of what the hottest coin is looking like. And I have ways of going through TradingView very fast too. There's a screener in TradingView and I can find oversold stuff and many different ways. Story looks interesting, right? Let's see if there's anything hot right now. But I don't know if tonight's the night to be rushing in. You know, if you're DCAing in, if you see something I've showed you on the 4 hour or the daily and it looks interesting, possibly, you know. Let's look at Dash right now. Sol looks good, man. I see it bouncing. Like, that's what I see for Solana. Higher lows and even, it's funny, even if it came into a multi-year bear market, right? It would make a double bottom and then it would probably just take a little longer to get to 500. So either I get to 500 in July of 27 or I get there in June of 28. So I got to wait 2 years now to make 500 grand. But hey, ZB's in trying to move partnership with XLM. That's good. ATB with BitBoy is how I found you also. I know, man. Shout out to Cashmo Crypto. This guy too, I went to his house one night. I've had such an amazing journey with you people, man. Like, I can look at these names and I can say, oh, I went to Jamal's house and hung out. He taught me. Greg shook my hand and told me how much he loved me and really was there for me. And it was like amazing to meet. Like, Cashmo Crypto invited me to his house and I went there for Christmas. Like, Rave Salt Records had dinner with me and Crypto Billy and we met in Vegas. Like, and probably more of you too. And many of you came to my party in Vegas. There was 50, 60 people there. It was amazing. I'll meet all of you at one point. I don't see why not. Dylan Bronson, man. Yeah, I will say though, having a trade go from small to huge does teach you that it's possible to make a lot. Yes, it does. Just takes dedication and time, and you can get there. You really can. Then we met, had deep conversations. Our kids played together. It was amazing, man. I met your dad. Your dad shook my hand and said, thank you for what you've done for my son, man. It was like, to this day, it was one of the most chilling, like, I just was like, I felt like I didn't deserve it. You know, I couldn't believe it. I had a father, and your dad's a good guy, man. You know? Hope to eat a nice ribeye with you one day, Sam. Grateful for you. We will, brother. We will. You put that in your mind, it'll happen. It's funny. I had a guy who used to watch me. He envisioned taking me on a boat, hanging out with me. He envisioned us together. We're friends now. He takes me on a boat all the time, and he's like, Sam, man, it's so weird. I used to watch you and envision us hanging, and now that's what happens. He's like, I put it in my mind, man, and I manifested it, man. I manifested you in my life, man. And it's like, hey, and that's so cool to be part of other people's manifestations because you're, you know, I'm so worldly that like I could, people think, you know, so many people can think about you. You can pop into their thoughts. You know, if I wasn't on YouTube, but no one would know me. I wouldn't be able to be in someone's thoughts like that. But and then they meditate, and then I end up becoming something they manifest. It's kind of cool, man, right? So the world is so amazing. There's so much opportunity out here, and you just have to kind of settle on it. Elite traders will be pumping out charts if you see them throughout the night. Look at the secret network. Like this, I wouldn't jump on immediately, but I'd say, hey, will that bounce off the 21? Create a bit of a flag? That could be a nice entry there. And secret network, we all know, right? The secret network and transactions. We know privacy is king, you know. Monero, I gave you the Monero trade. 750 was a place to sell that thing. We hit my target, everyone. Congratulations. You know, it went up a little more, 798, but man, that's definitely a good place to take some profito. And that was the target of the rising wedge that said it was going to break out. And we talked about this, I believe it was almost last weekend when we went over it. Yeah, Saturday, someone super chatted it. You know, and there we are almost a week later. And then if you believe it's still going and you're like, well, I don't, you know, it depends on what Bitcoin does. You can see how it's kind of hanging on Bitcoin. It's the same idea here. So Bitcoin's got to figure out what it wants to do tonight. Everything's going to kind of, and I see it probably just flipping around. So exactly. It's magnetic, brother. I love you, man. Yeah, that dinner was awesome. I was able to sit and talk with your sister. Super nice person, man. I know it's weird how we all got, like, some people got way away from me. I didn't get a chance to, like, talk to you too much. But we hung out on the balcony later on that day. I still have your text. You know what's so funny? I looked at your text the other day, and it was like, I won't say what you said. I love you, bro. But it was so funny. I read it, and I was like, yo, you're like, I got to go lay down. I was like, I love you, man. Nicest people in the world, the lifers are, man. And I can't wait to get to know more of you and every one of you guys and girls. So after I saw you on ATB, I knew you were a real one and stopped watching all the other crypto YouTubers. I actually started making money watching you. I love hearing that, man. That's what I like to hear. I want to take this and put it on them. I like to take these quotes and put them on Twitter, man. I like to X-post those because they're just so real. It's like, you know, it's so amazing. Funny, everyone makes like, yeah. Oh, man. People always say nasty things to you, man. Yeah. Yes, I don't know. I wouldn't go crazy. And I feel like the time to sell was yesterday. And take some profits and then just kind of see what they're doing. I said, this is what they say about me on the internet, right? After I saw you on ATV, I knew you were a real one. I actually started making money watching you. Thank you, man. Much respect. And remember, Bitcoin slumps off. Like, everything's going to kind of, you know. So I'd be easy peasy. I would be just kind of projecting, you know. And maybe I'll dabble. Maybe right before I go to bed, I'll do a quick scan. But, you know, my mind's I get pretty tired. It's Thursday, it's night. I've had lights in my face all day. My eyes are burnt. Even if I had more energy, my eyes are like burnt out. But that's why we have more than just me, and there's more people pumping out charts. So Remember, it's not always me. We got the elites. We got Master Friend. We got the whole crew, man. We got the whole team. So, Rams or Bears, man? The Rams, baby. Actually, I kind of like Caleb Williams, man. He's got something, man. He does. Like, you can't say he doesn't, man. The kid's good, bro. And he can move. So, a little inconsistent. He's young, you know? But Matt Stafford's the man. He's got too many grays. I don't know. I like him. I like both teams, actually. It's a great game. Great game. I think I lean a little more. I lean a little more Bears because I want to see young guys win. Matt's been around for so long. You know what I mean? But I like Matt Stafford. And I like the Rams, too. They're a strong team. So, I don't know. It's going to be a great game. And I love playoff football. Some people think, how could you like football? They bang their heads. I get it. I can see some of the negative connotations. But I've been watching football since I was a kid. I love American football. It's going to be this weekend. I'm definitely going to be watching playoff football, man. And that's, you know, Saturday night, Sunday night, I'll be watching those games. Yeah. I took your Axie call at 965. Took profits on the first pump. It pumped twice more after. Interesting. Yeah, they did kind of stop hunt there, though, right? Well, at least you got in there and you didn't get bagged out. You know, you had a good stop, or you didn't maybe no stop, and you got, wow, nice gainer though, right? It's funny, how could I see that gaming coin was going to pump? It's like I could see the tight moving averages. Now, sometimes they go for the stop hunt. See, this is a stop hunt. I want to teach you this. In a real bull market, they won't do this because too many people will want to buy in, and every time it dips a little bit, they'll buy the level, and they will never do that. It'll go right up. But when we're in this kind of shady market, when you don't have enough retail, you don't have enough money, everyone's going to long this, and they're just going to be like, oh, well, we're going to grab those longs real quick and just snipe you out. You kind of have to go like even deeper, maybe like deeper than that. Like that one was probably a safe bet right there. Use that low, and then you got saved. But you know, and I never know when they're going to do that, right? So I can give you 100 setups, and maybe 20 of them, they might dolphin dip them, and the other 80 might go fine. If there's more volume, it's very less likely to happen, but it does happen. It does, right? Wow, I looked at DCR, Decred, and it did look like it was going to do some damage. Dang, that thing ripped. Right out that flag at 18, all the way to 26. So we are seeing some altcoin behavior. And remember, I do my macro technical analysis tomorrow where we're going to go over Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance every single Friday and break it down. But that looks interesting to me. That could pump. This thing's been hot. Decred. Headed to 32. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance and Tether dominance. That looks like it's going to make a right shoulder and dump. Yeah, see, we're looking for this to kind of, so either comes back up and consolidates, or it starts to leave and comes down. That's kind of what we're looking for. How has it been 2 hours? I don't understand. Like, how did we start this at like 8:10, 8:05, and it's now 9:50? I'll say, oh, I'm just going to go half an hour tonight. I'll go 2 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. I got a lot off on my chest. I got to teach you guys a lot. I got to talk about a lot of things that I think should inspire you. If someone told me them that I would be very, very inspired. Thank you, Lifer. You're the best. Yeah, I took it. Yeah, God bless you, man. Dub Bears. Dub Bears. Shout out to Smokeja. You're still with us, Smokeja. Oh, my God. God bless you, brother. I remember you, man. Wow, so many awesome lifers kick it with me, man. And never gave up. I love it. Sad, I see some people give up. So, you know, when this year, more people gave up than any other year and this year. So if you're still here, it means you got like something to you. You're built a little stronger than the average person. You're ready for a little harder road. And you've got this. Shout out to Stas. Stas has been with me for a long time, man. We're going to dominate Stas on the AI hackathon, man. Thank you so much for coming on board. Jamie's told me a lot. I'm very, very, very excited, bro. That's awesome. Shocked you were still alive after I got the kiddo to bed. I know. I got that extra energy today. I'm about to go hit the jacuzzi, rest my back. It's freezing out there. I don't know how. My jacuzzi's not that good in the cold weather. It's weird. Like, I thought jacuzzi was supposed to heat up really well in the cold weather, but it's like my jacuzzi doesn't do too good, man. I'm going to have to get like a solar top on it or something, but like when it's like lower than like 58 degrees, like my jacuzzi can only get to like 102. It doesn't get to 104. You know, it's weird. Whatever, right? Oh, cry about your jacuzzi, you baby. I know, right? believe me, I came from nothing. I can laugh at myself now who I become. Like, damn, man, you got so spoiled, bro. It's like, hey, spoil yourself, man. You only live once, right? Let's look at tether dominance. Great. Look at that thing falling out the flag. Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. That's what you want to see there. You did not want to see it make that, because the daily was getting above the 200. Remember that? I should see the daily. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's a head and shoulder pattern. Let's be honest. I mean, that says we're about to take a dump. Flip it upside down. It's like Bitcoin, right? It's like, but that says this thing's about to take a dump. And that's Bitcoin about to take a pump, you see? So this dumps to the 200. Bitcoin pumps up to the 200. Going to be 33 of a low tonight. In Florida? No. Let's take a look. The low will be 37 degrees tonight in Florida, man. Oh, my God. 46 right now outside? Jeez Louise. I'm going to go in the pool, too, in the freezing cold weather. You guys want to see that? I'll jump in the pool right now in 46 degrees. Show you how to be a man. Hi, this is the Crypto Liver, and this is going in the pool at 46 degrees. Come over to get my hot tub in Ohio when it's 20 right now. I know. I've had hot tubs. Like my buddy had one. We used to go in the freezing snow. Yeah. 37 in Florida. Oh, man, it's cold. But we get like 3 nights a year like this. But actually weird. Friday is going to be 40 degrees at night. Saturday is going to be 50. Sunday it's going to be 36 at night. When does this end? Yeah, and then it's going to be 60 degrees by the 23rd. And then we're out. So it's going to last till like next Tuesday. It's going to be cold, man. It's going to be like between 58 and 68 at night in the day. Then we have my next time I can hit the beach looks like it's going to be the 23rd of January. So I have like 8 days till I can hit the beach. It will be 82 degrees in 10 days. In 9 days it'll be 82 degrees. I'll be all right, look. It'll be 59 at night, back to normal. And then it's just going to get hotter and hotter. And next thing you know, it'll be so hot. Yeah. So think about it. Every live stream, I go over tons of coins. Every time I'm in the Discord, I pump tons of coins. And sometimes I think, I should just go over coins now, which I used to do a lot more. But on the weekly screen share, I'd like to do something a little different. I'd like to be these are things I will never say online on my YouTube channel. And, and I feel like you guys have paid the 99. You've decided you respect and love me. You're in the group. And you are people I can share some things with. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a little too kind. I don't know. I always get worried as someone like creeping on me inside the group to get more information about me or something. I do get nervous, but or concerned. But I always have a contingency plan too. So I'm never a sitting duck. I'll tell you that. Everybody, I love you. I'm gonna jump out for the night. If I do see something, pay attention. Look at what the elites post. Bitcoin looks like it just may kind of mill around tonight and go sideways. Right? Is there any data coming out tomorrow? Let me just double check on the Forex Factory. I think we were out of the water by Friday though. Yeah, nothing comes on Friday tomorrow, so we should be fine. Capacity utilization rate, but, industrial production might have a little bit of movement, 9:15 a.m., but nothing crazy. And although all this data was good, right? Unemployment was low. Awesome. PPI was the same as forecast. Retail sales were up, okay? And they were forecast at 0.5. They were more than we thought. So things came in hot. And then CPI, right, was lower than expected. Core CPI was the same. And year over year has not. So we were able to kind of keep it, right? And it says that the economy is strong. We could handle a rate cut. Like, we don't have to be so preemptive about it all the time. But we'll see. And so that's kind of what I see happening for the night. We did the Bitcoin. I told about my life. And, let me kind of jump into the chat. Anyone else? Any other questions? Any other thing? Even earnings were good, but stocks still dipped. Yeah. Now, red folders were Tuesday through Thursday. Yeah, how you been, Andrew? You've been one of the best traders. Are you still keeping the streak alive? Are you making sure? I want to make sure you're on point. I know you had some big wins in the 2025. I want to make sure you're staying strong. God bless you, brother. Thank you. This year was tough, very difficult with not getting a true alt season yet. But we can never give up. Crypto is staying ahead of the curve. That's the one thing I've noticed about you crypto people. Us crypto people, but you know, most resilient people I've ever met in my life. Like we could all lose 1,000 times over and we come back every time for more. Like stock market people give up eventually. We just don't. Like we just keep coming. Like I'm amazed. This year showed how resilient we are. And the next thing you do is pump, it starts ripping again. It's so funny how quick these things happen, right? So Beckon, you want Zebek Network, you just want to kind of do this. You flag that out, and that looks like you'll get busy. Next target I see at 003. And that's when I put the vertical line right here. And I right-click it and hit add alert on the vertical line. Now I have another alert cooking. And remember, all your alerts just sit right here. And you can just go through all the alerts you've set. And you can see, it's basically a watch list, right? That's why alerts work really good. They create a list of things for you, keep you from forgetting what you may have wanted to trade. January is, yeah, we love getting, you know, right? Modern Sword here. Modern Sword, man. Last few months and found it. Now I'm back. I love you, bro. I'm so happy. You were one of the coolest guy in the world, man. I love you, man. There's something about you. You got this extra energy, man. I love you. I hope everything's going well with you and yours, man. Shout out to every awesome person that's ever supported me, everyone. Thank you so much for the love. And may we continue to win together every single day. And thank you for supporting me no matter what, through my ups and my downs. I lost 10 times in a row. Won one time. That made back all the 10 losses. That's the crazy thing about it, right? That sounds like my life. I lost 1,000 times, but the one time I won, I made it all back, baby. I'll leave you with this one tweet that I put out earlier today, right before. Do not hate. I went from this to this. I made my first million at 37 years old. It took me a while, but I did get there and beyond. God is great. Never stop. Love you all. Well, I was a guy with a Harley Davidson. I bought this for $2,700 on Craigslist. I used to wear I wore this shirt probably every other day for years, man. It was like a metal button down. It had the metal buttons. I had the red and white, and I wore the shirt to match the red and white because I always like to match. I had the Thorogood boots on. I rode this to a night shift. I rode my Harley to the night shift, and even the freezing cold, man. I rode this bike everywhere. I sold it after 8 years. It was my baby, man. But I went from that to that, baby. Unreal, man. I never thought when I was working for this guy. As I was working for the night shift, I was working at a motorcycle shop for like $9 an hour when I was like 29 years old. This is crazy stuff. To learn more about motorcycles, you know? And now look at me, man. And those are Costco's jeans. Yeah, actually, they probably are. I had a pair of black jeans that I really like to buy. Black Levi's. Yeah. I don't know why it's blurry. I took it from somewhere else, but I don't know why it's like so pixelated, you know? Man. There's me and my sports, my 883, baby. $2,700 on Craigslist. I bought it while my wife was pregnant. She was like nauseous in bed one day, and she was like, I'll be sleeping. And I was like, and I like started looking for motorcycles online. Like, who buys a motorcycle when their wife is pregnant? Everyone was selling the motorcycle. They're like, oh, my wife just got pregnant. It's time to give the bike away. One guy was so rude. I was such a smart ass, man. I said to him, I was like, oh, you're selling it. I'm buying it, man. Why are you such a fairy? It's like, you know, I didn't have to say that to the guy, man. I always put a little dig sometimes, man. I don't know why. Hey, I had the guts to buy one. He was selling it for the reason I was buying one, you know. Bro, old film and photos seem to degrade somehow. I know, right? No, I sold the bike. I had the bike for, you know, funny. I paid $2,700 for the bike, $2,600, I think. I put $1,300 in it when the fan belt went for me one night on my way home from work. The fan belt it snapped. It was old and it got like tight in it. So I had to get that replaced, and that cost me about $1,300 because it was a lot of labor. You had to take all these parts off, a lot of hours, get the thing in there, you know. So $4,000 in total, probably, right? A little under $4,000 what I spent on the bike. I had it for 8 years. I did my own spark plugs. I did my own oil changes. You know, I got a new oil filter right there. I kept it really nice as I could. And never got new tires, never switched the tires, none of that. Like, did I get one new tire? I think, yeah, I got one new tire on the front or something when I worked for the motorcycle guy. And then it was like 4 years ago in Boston. You know, I had my second kid, and and then people were starting to text and not pay attention, right? And that generation wasn't looking, and I could tell that more people were going to start dying on motorcycles. I could just tell. I was smart. I said, man, and then I started making big money. I started making 50, 60, 70 grand a month. I said, man, the hell am I going to, you know, am I going to die? And my wife had no replacement for me, you know? Like, she doesn't really know how to move the stock. She doesn't know how to trade like she can't. So I said, if I ever die, man, and she can't take care of these kids, because I wanted to ride a motorcycle, I said, that sounds pretty stupid. So I got rid of the motorcycle because it looked like people were texting and not paying attention a lot, and because I knew that it was too high of a risk, you know. Yeah. My dad had to get rid of the bike after I was born. He laid it down in the rain, and my mom said nope. Yep. Tank looks awesome. The tank was amazing. It was white with the red writing. It was beautiful. The white tip. I loved white. My Escalade's white. I've always liked white cars. I don't know why I like the white. Yeah, too many friends are dead or injured. I rode with them. I had to stop also. Yeah, right? Like, everyone knows someone that died, man. You know when I really finally stopped? Like a year and a half before I sold the bike, someone that not someone I knew personally, but I had met once or twice, an older dude. He was sitting at a stoplight, Queens Boulevard, sitting there, and someone like got curved, went out of control, went right into the back of him, sent him into traffic, and he died. So he wasn't driving fast. He wasn't doing anything. He was sitting on the motorcycle at a stop sign. And that's when I really started asking myself, like, do I really want to get killed just sitting somewhere? Like, it might not even happen. It might not be some crazy thing I'm doing. I might not be taking a turn on a highway, and like, it might be something I don't even expect. So I gave up the bike and I moved on. Yeah. A cousin's fiance died while he was riding. Yeah. Who here does it? Everyone here almost knows someone that died of a motorcycle accident. Almost everyone in this chat right now. It's crazy. So I had my fun. I did it for 8 years. I still miss it. I still sometimes want to run on the one. When I see people ride them, I'm like, but man, I love holding my kids. I love holding my wife, and I want to be there for them. Yeah. My dad stopped riding when he almost died when I was in kindergarten. Yep. Yep. It's very risky, man. Driving a motorcycle, you have to be kind of insane. You got to be a little nuts. Like, it's something, your screws ain't loose, man. You know, you drive, because like it feels so free and amazing, but man, you got to know anyone could take you out, man, anytime. I always felt like, I'd accelerate, I'd get my way out, I know my way, I'd find it. It's gonna happen. You're not gonna realize it. My good friend, he was coming home from Brooklyn on his motorcycle, and a kid said, I thought I could make it into my driveway before he came, and he tried to whip it in. He's like, I'm driving. Next thing you know, he gets flipped upside down. He wakes up in the medic tent, like, right, in the ambulance, right? He's lucky to have his life. He could have been paralyzed right now. Yeah. So, all right, everyone, I love you. Have a good night. Don't overtrade. Get a good night's sleep tonight. That'll make you the best trader and give you the most information for your brain. So I was bedridden for a year after my motorcycle. Lucky to be alive. Dang, man. See? Yeah. So luckily, look, many men learned the lesson before I did. All right? This is funner than that. And you can put the top down and you can still have some fun. You know what I mean? But I miss my bike, man. I miss my bike. Learning to walk again was my hardest challenge yet. That's insane. People are evil. Some do it on purpose and crash into motorcycles. That's crazy, man. Yeah. Good night, everyone. I love you. Be safe. Stay amazing. Look out for the elite charters. Look out for what's going on. And I'll be posting more. I'll be getting, trust me, I know I've been a little light on the alts, but I'll be heavy alts soon. And you'll probably get more alts than you'd want to get. So get ready, man. Back to the roots, baby. It's crazy, right? I had a Harley too. Amen, man. Cash more crypto. Of course you did. You're a nut, bro. You were like me. When I met you, I was like, this guy's a nut like me, man. He's rough around the edges a little bit. Stay safe, Justin. I love you. I hope everything's going well with you and yours. Text me if you can. I'd like to just know what's going on, man. Smoke Jaw, love you, man. You've been super awesome, brother. Jaron Scott, God bless you, man. Thank you. Stay healthy. I'll keep showing up. Hey, thank you. Sleep good tonight, Sammy. Stay blessed, and God bless. You too. Everyone sleep good tonight. Everyone take care of yourself. Everyone have a wonderful time. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay positive. Stay amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for your constant support and viewership. I'd just be Sam. I'd be Sam. I'd have few millions in Bitcoin, but no one would know me. I wouldn't go through this life experience. I wouldn't have anyone pick me up at the airport. I wouldn't know Crypto Billy. He wouldn't have sent me those flowers to my dad's funeral. I wouldn't have met all you beautiful people. Jamal and me never would have met. Man, this is way better than getting rich, man. This is getting rich with people. This is rich. You can get rich in money, and you can also get rich in people. Like, how many lives have you touched? How many lives have touched you? I'm on a journey, man, and I can't wait for the next person I meet and the people that I already know. And I can't wait for the next time we have a big life or get together and the energy is super high. And thank you, everyone, for just an exceptional 2025 again, I got to say. And something special about 2026. Let's all have some faith and project the most amazing 2026. I love you all. Stay blessed. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Gratitude, baby. Gratitude. Stay in the present. Don't let them take you out of the present. That's where you build.